As our technological capabilities grow, it is true that we will see more low-paying jobs replaced by machines, but that's only part of the story. With the innovation economy I have just discussed, we will also see the creation of higher-paying, higher-skilled jobs that only humans can perform. And history backs this up. For example, when the power loom was invented, many feared it would eliminate all textile jobs. The truth turned out to be the opposite. The loom increased production, and as production increased, so did demand. And as demand increased, so did the need for skilled laborers who could operate the machines and manage the factories. Jobs in the textile industry actually increased for 100 years thereafter. But these jobs did not immediately pay higher wages. Before that could happen, workers needed to learn marketable skills that could be standardized across the industry. Only then could the methods learned in one factory become useful in another, which increased the need for experienced labor and gave workers leverage to demand higher wages. The lesson of history then is clear. To empower today's workers, we must equip them with today's skills. And to do that, we need a higher education system to innovate at the same rate as our economy. In the next 10 years, 3.5 million manufacturing jobs will be created. But if our higher education system remains stagnant and stuck in the past, 2 million of these jobs will be left unfilled. The same skills gap is felt across industries. Nearly 1 out of every 3 American employer reports having difficulty finding skilled applicants. Yet we still tell our students that to get a degree, they have to spend 4 years on a campus, tens of thousands of dollars on tuition and books and room and board, and hundreds of hours in a classroom, often learning subjects that aren't relevant to the modern economy. The result is that today many young people are graduating with a mountain of debt for degrees that will not lead to jobs, and many who need higher education the most, such as single parents and working adults, are left with few options that fit their schedules and their budgets. The problems with higher education are many, but the ideas from Hillary Clinton and other outdated leaders are narrow and short-sighted. We do not need timid tweaks to the old system. We need a holistic overhaul. We need to change how we provide degrees, how those degrees are accessed, how much the access costs, and how those costs are paid, and even how those payments are determined. As president, I will begin with a powerful but simple reform. Our higher education system today is controlled by what amounts to a cartel of existing colleges and universities, which use their power over the accreditation process to block innovative, low-cost competitors from entering the marketplace. Within my first 100 days, we will bust this cartel by establishing a new accreditation process that welcomes low-cost, innovative providers. This would expose higher education to market forces of choice and competition, which would prompt a revolution driven by the needs of students, just as the needs of consumers drive the prospect of other industries in our economy. Other reforms can hasten this transition. I will empower students to choose the right degree at the right price from the right institution for them. I've proposed an idea called the student right to know before you go act, which requires an institution to tell students how much they can expect to earn with a given degree before they take out the loans to pay for it. I will make student loans more manageable by making income-based repayment automatic for all graduates. So the more they make, the faster they pay back their loans. And the less they make, the less strain these loans will cause. I will reduce the risk associated with loans and ease the shadow of debt hovering over millions of graduates. But for future students, we can also create an alternative to loans that avoids the problem of debt altogether. I proposed an idea called the Student Investment Plan, which would let students partner with investors who would pay their tuition in return for a percentage of their earnings for a few years after graduation. It may result in a profit for the investor, or it may not. But unlike with loans, none of the risk lies with the student. As president, I will also make career and vocational education more widespread and accessible. This can begin as early as high school, so we can graduate students not just with a high school diploma, but also with a certification to work as a mechanic, a plumber, a welder, an electrician, or any number of good-paying occupations. And I will expand apprenticeship programs, which can provide on-the-job training and help standardize skills by allowing students to learn methods from experienced workers and then spread them throughout the industry. This is not an exhaustive list of ideas, but I have seen how these can begin to open doors for our middle class. In Miami, I have seen high schoolers graduate, certified to begin high-paying careers as BMW technicians. I have known single mothers whose hard-earned degrees have translated into long-sought financial security for themselves and for their children. And I have seen higher education shape my own life, both in terms of the enormous costs we must remedy and the enormous payoff we must extend to all.